It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday.
Coming to you live and direct from the table, we have It's Rough But It's Real. To my left we have
Roz P.
Gavin.
And Lynn, of course, aka the boss, y'all. Tonight we'll be talking about losing our loved ones to the streets.
We are losing a lot of our young men, children, and women to the streets, and we want to address it, put some attention on it. Hopefully that it'll get people active in the community and help solve some of those problems that we are having. I want to start off a young man that was killed about 2 weeks ago. He was only 14. If you seen this kid, you knew he was a kid. And they just called him up to the car and shot him. And he crawled into an abandoned house, to the porch of an abandoned house, and that's where he died. No one should have to die like that. I actually knew this kid personally. He was full of joy. Every time you see him, he would do a dance, and I always seen him on his bike. So I really don't understand what was the motive behind it and who was so heartless to kill this kid. But we're losing too many young black men to the streets. Not only to death, also to the prison systems. And it's just taken away from our homes and communities. So we want to discuss that tonight. And we're going to start off, Boss Lady, because we know you got a lot of feelings about this.
Yes, I just lost my family. It's not my first one lost, but the second one, and both of them were young. The first family member that I lost, her name was Miranda Abraham. We called her Mimi. She was crazy about me. Her mom, I'm close to them. I mean, we don't have much family, y'all, but the little family we got, we try to be close. She just was a random in the parking lot over here by Casa Viva. She asked me to take her out that night, and I told her I would take her out the very next night. But the next night did never come, y'all. But she passed away. She got with some girls she worked with or friends, and ended up, you know how they call it, parking lot pimping or whatever, over by Long John Silver's behind there. And we was in the parking lot when the kids used to hang out. And they just opened fire. It wasn't meant for her, but she was the only one that died. She never made it, you know. She was doing good and big things with her life. Second of all, I just lost my other relative, Boris Hamilton. He just was killed in a car accident this past Saturday. I got the call. I was at work and at my salon, and when I got the call, it just took a toll over me. I got sick. You never know until you experience this kind of stuff what it'll actually do to you. Our family, we praying for strength and you know, salvation, because we all hurt right now, you know, and I don't know, we just losing them. They here today and they gone tomorrow. We never know what tomorrow will bring, so a lot of you young people, you know, need to start bringing about a change and trying to get your house in order and get your life right, because, hey, when God called us home, we can't do nothing about it. We just got to go. You know, we don't know how we going to go. I could be here today and gone tomorrow. I just want to be living right for him when I do go. I'm not perfect. None of us are. You tell me one perfect person. But the thing I know that I am doing today that I didn't do yesterday, I'm working and making preparations to get my life right and in order. So when God called me to come on home, I'm going to be ready.
When you said about they here today and gone tomorrow, it's two guys that I knew that was killed, you know, I'd say within a month or so time, but one individual, I saw him at the grocery store, and he was telling me about how he was in school and how he was trying to get a job. You know, he'd been to prison, he was a convicted felon, but he was just continually talking about the same thing to me, talking about how nobody will hire him, but he was in school and trying to make it, you know, and he had a criminal past as far as, you know, drugs and gangs and everything.
But people change.
Right. And I talked to him.
They don't want to give you a second chance. They crucify you.
And within a week's so time, he was dead. You know.
And it make you wonder, like, you know, when she was saying also that it's an unexpected death. and they be in the process of doing something good, and you like, wow, why them, or you know, what bring this here about? And like you said, he actually was doing something and trying to move forward in life. And the young lady you was talking about was doing something positive with her life, and then to be out there in the middle of everybody.
He was so good with his little girl. Now he got a 2-year-old little girl that's gonna grow up without a father, you know. And that's besides the mom, he took care. Everywhere you see him, you see that baby, Stormy. And now Stormy got to grow up without her dad no more. You see her holding on to his leg, clamping. She wouldn't hardly go to nobody. When she with him, she was daddy's baby. And I used to always commend him on how young he was, but he was so good with her, you know. And just to see her, to see his, you know, the mother of the child, you know, Sonny, see his dad, Betty Ann, you know, just to see all of them, you know, this is going to do something to me. You know, it's off and on. I had good times, good days for a few moments, and then I get a little breakdown. And sometimes I'm by myself, and sometimes I'm around people. But I know this too shall pass. And you know, when we get closure Saturday, you know, I don't know how I know I'm going to have some more days that I cry, you know. But I know it will get better.
The second guy that I was talking about, it was similar to the first guy. I saw him at another store, different situation. And I was telling him that, you know, I was cutting hair and everything, and he was like, man, I'm gonna come up there and holler at you. I gave him some dap, you know, dapped him up, and a few days later, he was killed at, you know, the South End Day. He was
Face.
He was trying to break up a fight or whatever, and
I was there.
He was killed at the park.
What was so crazy about that, like the week before that, you know, because that's one of my homeboys, and I didn't want to do this topic ever since his death. We were in the club. We had went out and just having the latest night out, and he was there. And for some reason, he just hugged me the whole time he was standing there, trying to kiss me on the jaw. He was like, homegirl, I love you, I love you. And he was messing with your auntie. And she was like, go somewhere, go somewhere. I said, leave that woman alone. And he just kept on. But, you know, when I seen him, I always show him some love because, like, my auntie, she passed away from cancer. And she's scared. She used to be so scared of the city, Little Rock Pier, just scared of the city. And when she came over to my homegirl house, we was frying fish, having a fish fry, and she had to go into the hospital the next day. She didn't know at that time that cancer was eating her body up. And Face was there. You know what I'm saying? This guy, he was there. And they all sort of thug, and we all was sort of hood, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, auntie, you comfortable? She was like, yeah. And he actually, was saying that she was sick, but we didn't know what was going on, you know. And he sung her a song.
So you can sing.
He could sing.
Shut up.
I'm talking about he could sing for real.
Talented brother.
Talented. He could sing for real.
Never know.
And when I was seeing him, you know what I'm saying, and I was like, I was showing some love because he made my auntie smile like in her last days. She didn't know him. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes people meet up with each other and never know the reason. Only for a moment, but he made her smile. So I would always show him love like that, you know what I'm saying? So, and then another thing, when we would have our hair shows, I don't even know if y'all ever noticed, he would always be there, right there by the stage, you know, with the shades on and the towel and rooting on everybody, the rappers and the models. He would always be there to, you know, to show his support and love. So when he got killed, I was like, wow. And you know, sometimes people don't know this, but I have like premonitions and stuff. And you remember me telling you when I called up one of our old friends and asked him how he was doing because he was on my mind. And that was like a week before Face got killed. I don't know if you remember. It's a mutual friend, a guy friend.
Ours. Oh,
yes. Yeah, we don't want to say his name.
We better not say his name. Yeah.
But you remember I was saying I called him, and it was because I had this dream. Yeah, I had this dream, and I called to check on him. And then after he got talking, I was like, "Oh, you okay? It ain't you. It's not you. You know." But him and this guy were real close friends as well. So sometimes God be preparing us for things. But back to the streets and everything, losing our young men and our women, it's not always to death. You know, and it hurt us when we lose them like that, but it even hurt me more when we lose them to the penitentiary, lose them to the system.
Yeah, I got a brother-in-law, and she was gonna be my sister-in-law. I'm gonna throw that example out here. They
Yeah,
call
'cause
it
they work both ways.
Yeah, because I was on both ends. I was my ex-husband's brother. You know, he'll never see the streets again. I just had his daughter last weekend, which I have her a lot. She looks just like my daughter, and he killed her out of a crime of passion on Mother's Day. Sometimes we be in love with people we can't help how we feel, and I'm that way right now. So I'm just gonna be honest. The man I love better stay up out my way, because I be next in the penitentiary. I'm just holding on for my kids. But at the same time, he, on a serious note, he will never see the streets again. So we've lost him. He's in there. You know, he in the system, he institutional. It's like he'll never. He gonna be 75 before they even allow him to come up before, you know, to even try to get out. And then of course we lost her, because we lost her tragically, because he couldn't take. Sometimes we can't take the way we feel. That's not the answer. But he killed her, and now who's suffering? The little girl out here with no mom nor no dad. So I just look at it like that, and I'm hurt behind that too, because she'll never know how it is to have a mother or a father. Me and her talked about it this weekend while she was with me. She full of spirit. God is on that baby side. She told me she didn't want to sleep in her room because she was scared that her mother would come in. And I said, baby, if your mama come in and see you, she gonna only be there to give you a kiss.
I just got goosebumps.
It's just the truth. I had to come to her like that. And so we laughed it off. She laughed it off. She's in good spirits. She goes to visit her dad. And she got a good grandmother, praying grandmother. You know, my hats off to you, Miss Bonnie. She forgave, and you know what she told me? She said, I know that he didn't mean to kill my daughter. She said, I know that it was just on the moment he acted on impulse. She said, I know I shouldn't say this, but I know he loved my daughter, and he didn't mean to do it.
That's so crazy. Like me and you actually we've been attached for a long time. Sometimes we don't see each other and we still attached. My daughter actually married into that young lady's family, and when my dad married her aunt, before he married her,